Okay, well, we're going to get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Transition Roundup. Today, we're going to saddle up with VR and chat a little bit with folk rehab counselors and make sure we kind of cover some of the pre-ETS information and project skills. And so we have some guests with us, but before we turn it over to the folk rehab, I am going to advance here. What we wanted to do is, introduce, I guess, the staff first that are on. And I have Kate Deedy, who covers the northeastern part. Kate, if you want to say hi.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully you've been getting my emails if you're in my area. If not, please give me slip me a note, kate.dd@state.sd.us.
All right, thanks. Bev Peterson.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Bev Peterson. I work out of Sioux Falls and work with the schools in the southeastern region of the state. Welcome.
Thanks, Bev. And I'm Dan Rounds, and I cover the central part of the state. And Dave Helverson is out west, and I don't know if Dave is able to join us today or not. I don't see Dave on here, so we're going to move on. We wanted to just let you know that we have some events coming up here, our Let's Talk Work events, focusing basically on employment skills, talking with employers, and kind of getting a kind of an agency feel too. So we're going to invite outside agencies or adult service programs to come in and chat with you during these events. But we have one in Rapid City coming up in November 10th. There's one in Sioux Falls on November 16th at the Fort Pierre American in Pierre, and that's on November 16th. And then in Aberdeen on November 16th. So we have 3 of them on the 16th. And then in January, Maya, another one of our staff who is currently on maternity leave, is going to host hers in January. So if you haven't got a flyer yet and you would like to have a flyer, they are posted on our website. And I think what I'm going to do is stop share and share with you real quick our website so you can see where these are at. Da-de-da, where is it? I thought I brought that up. I will find it here real quick. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen okay, Bev? Okay. If you go to our events page, we have our events flyer. There, and I'm just going to go down here. How come that keeps coming up like that? I should have let somebody else do this.
And Dan, I did put the direct link to the events on in chat.
Okay, good. Here's our Let's Talk Work information. And so the flyers are right here on our website. So whichever one you'd like to go to, you can go to it. Okay, and Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over to Katie. And Katie has got a couple of VR counselors with her. She has Emily Champa from the Sioux Falls area and Jamie Falk. And I'm not sure where Jamie is at. Is she on? I didn't see her
Yep,
come
she's
on.
on.
Is she on?
Yep.
Okay. But I'm gonna turn it over to you, Katie, and let you take off with this.
All right. Sounds
Thank you for
good.
joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us. So my name is Katie Gran and I am the VR transition specialist. I'm located out of Sioux Falls, but I help support the VR counselors throughout the state to make sure that they have the support that they need to provide good transition services to our students with disabilities. And so today we're just going to highlight a few of the things that we have that all VR counselors have in our tool belts or our saddlebags, I guess. We can do the Western theme, and that we can do to help the students that you work with in making sure that they're getting those pre-employment transition services. So just a quick overview about what pre-employment transition services are. You can see there's our website to the transition resource page, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But there's 5 different categories that counselors are required to provide students with disabilities. That's job exploration, workplace readiness training, work-based learning experiences, post-secondary education information, and instruction and self-advocacy. So for job exploration counseling, one of the programs that we have available is the virtual, well, it was the virtual job shadow, but it's now called Pathful Explorer. Do you guys see that? The Pathful Explorer? Okay, perfect. So this is a great tool that we can use to really get into career exploration. There's a variety of different assessments that we can do to have the students take, just so we can narrow down some interest areas. So we kind of have a focus area when we're doing career exploration. You know, there's the career clusters, there's the O-Net interest in profiler, the O-Net work importance locator, and the O-Net ability profiler. All of these are available to any of the students that have an account. And if the student is working with a VR counselor, they can get set up with a free account. There's also ways where on this website where they can do a resume builder, and they can do a cover letter builder that is very simple for them to use. They just have to enter all of their information into the different boxes, and then it pulls up a template that they can do. And then it also show them examples based on 7th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade CTE, or any of these. They give some great examples for resume, cover letters, job applications, and thank you letters. The biggest thing here is the career exploration. So they can filter by career clusters that kind of fall into the line of the South Dakota My Life. If they took an assessment on the South Dakota My Life, we can explore the career clusters on this. So we can do that dual, you know, if they've already done the assessment, they don't have to do an assessment on here, so that they're not constantly doing career assessments. We can use the information that they took from that South Dakota My Life to explore here. So they can explore by cluster. They can explore by education. You know, what level of education are they looking at? Is there a particular industry that they're looking at? Here's the results if they took that interest profiler and the work importance locator by achievement, independence, recognition, all of that. And then the cool thing is we'll just click on this one. They get an overview video in the career. And it's all the videos are very short. They run anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes, and they can be closed captioned as well. But they have an overview of what the job is. Then there's frequently asked questions that they can watch to get more information about that. Then they can get a written career description about it. They can learn about the required education. They can learn about earnings, and it's broken down by wages in South Dakota versus national wages. A future outlook, is there, so like for authors, there's a decline of 2%. So if this is a lot higher, it might be something that they might not be interested in pursuing if they know that the job isn't going to be growing in the next few years. Additional links just to learn more about it. The college search is pretty cool. So it's defaulted to our state in South Dakota. So then it shows that Augie, Black Hills State, Dakota Wesleyan, Northern State, and USD all have programs at their schools that would complement a person becoming an author. There's jobs and internships. So they can look at jobs, and it's tied to Indeed.com. So they can just go down here and see if there's a job of interest. And then it takes them to Indeed.com so they can find more about that. And if they want to apply, they can apply right on the website. Or if they're like, based on what they learn, that's not really the career that they're interested in, they can click on related careers, and then more careers will pop up so that within that area of interest, so that they can see if there's something that maybe more suits what they're looking for in a career. But if they really like the, I'm going to go to attorney because this one, if they research this and they really like it, they can add it to their careers. And then it shows up in a short list right here of careers that so that there's an easier way for them to get back at it instead of searching for it. So this is just one of the areas that we can look at when we're doing career exploration. There's a variety of other ways that we can do that job exploration counseling with students. It just kind of is based on what the student has done and what they're interested in doing to really explore those careers of interests. Any questions about the job exploration counseling or the Pathful Explorer at this time? Okay, jumping right into workplace readiness training. Counselors are always encouraging students to go to the Let's Talk Work events that TSLP holds. And another online curriculum that we have available is eTrack. And I'm going to quick show you. And this is a soft skills program, and it's broken down into 6 different courses. So exploring a career, filling out paperwork, starting job search, interviewing, evaluating and accepting a job offer, and then keeping a job. Just to kind of show you there's a pre-assessment for all the courses just to see what their current understanding level is. And then they can choose either the HTML5 version or the text-based version. And that's exactly what it sounds like, is everything is in text. So for students that maybe have to use a screen reader, the text-based version would be the best one for them to do so they can have it read out loud. But this is the one that we use the most, is the HTML. And we're just going to enter it, and just to show you a little bit. So it kind of walks you through. I'm going to quick mute this, but it's just a little lesson that you just get with the get started, and then you work your way through. The little check marks means that we've already watched these, but there's a variety of different videos and different things that they can look at. There's assignments, there's quick reviews, there's exams. All of this is found on here, and it just basically, you start at the beginning, and then the student can go through and progress through the curriculum. So this has been a really good one. They're looking to update it a little bit. so that it's not as cartoonish. And so students are a little bit more excited to do this. There's some great information on it. And I know a lot of students around the state have used it and have benefited from it. So this is just another tool that we have available, that if the person is working with Voc Rehab, we can pay for them to get one of these accounts. I'm going to come back to the work-based instruction and self-advocacy. Counselors are always encouraging the youth leadership forum, so that the students can go there, learn more about their disabilities, learn more about what an IEP means and how they can be more vocal in those IEP meetings. Post-secondary education, you know, there's services that we can provide, whether they go to a vocational college, a four-year university, or if they go to an 18 to 21 transition program, or to one of our Project Search programs. We just want to make sure that they have all the information that they need to decide what's going to happen once they finish all those educational credits when they're a senior in high school. So we can help and coach them and give them direction on what might be a good plan and what services and supports are available at whatever path that they choose. And then finally, the work-based learning experiences. We've got the Project Skills program and the Project Search. We'll talk about Project Skills here on the next slide, but Project Search is an 18 to 21 program. We currently have 5 sites in South Dakota. We have Avera up in Aberdeen. We have SDSU in Brookings. In Sioux Falls, we have 2 locations. One is with Teachwell Solutions, and that's at Avera McKinnon Hospital. And then the Sioux Falls School District within the last couple of years opened one at Dow Rummel Assisted Living. And then we've also got out in Rapid City, we've got it with Regional Health, and they've got some satellite offices. Is it Sturgis, Emily? Is that where the satellite one is?
We have Sturgis and Spearfish now.
Great. So since the Rapid City area is a little bit more rural and that's the only one out there, they've got the satellite ones so that the students can participate closer to their home instead of having to travel to Rapid City every day. And I'll show you the website here in a little bit, where you can get more information about the Project Search sites. Actually, I'll quick do that now. So here's our DRS, our VR transition page. Right at the top, if you want to refer your students or parents to watch an overview video of transition services with VR, they can do that. You can click right here for the student to do an online application, or if teachers want to make a referral so that we would reach out to that student and their family to start the application process, you can do that right there. Here is a listing of all of our public schools and VR counselors, as well as our tribal schools and counselors. So this would show you, since there's a counselor assigned to every public and tribal school, these lists will tell you who your VR counselor is. And then there's just information here about those. There's a transition resource booklet on here that's been pretty helpful to a lot of teachers, I've heard. This is something that I kind of put together. I got the idea from TSLP. And basically what I did is I broke it down into different sections so that counselors and teachers have one place where they can go to get a variety of different resources that would be available to them. So that's on there. And then these are all live links. So if you find something of interest, then you just go ahead and click on it, and then it takes you directly to the website. And then we've been, myself and a couple counselors have been putting together transition newsletters that counselors are sending out to the students that are on our caseloads. So if you ever want to take a look at that, you can. They're all on the website and we update them monthly. But it gives them, oops, it's opening Explore Work. This is a great resource too, by the way, this Explore Work one. But as you can see, each one has a topic. They're usually about 2 pages long, and we're just giving the student and their parents information about a variety of tasks, resources that are available, whether it's online or whether it's a South Dakota resource. So like this one was, we were highlighting financial information for post-secondary school. So we highlighted scholarships.com. What do you need to fill out a FAFSA application? What types of financial aid is available? And then a to-do list for post-secondary. This just kind of gives you an idea of what counselors are sending to students on a regular basis. Again, if they're working with us, they typically all the students that are working with the counselor will get this information mailed to them or emailed to them. And then Project Search, here's just an overview of Project Search and direct links to all of the different Project Search sites. And then here's some really good videos that were created for all of the sites as well. So feel free to look around on there to learn more about any of those programs. And then we've got Project Skills. So as of July 1st, VR increased the wages. So students are now making $11 an hour when they're participating in a Project Skills placement. What is Project Skills? It's a written agreement between the local school district and or educational cooperative and with VR, which outlines everybody's responsibilities. So the school district has the responsibility of doing the job placement, the job coaching, the on-site monitoring, helping students with the time cards to get them to VR so that they can get paid. They also have to do a monthly report to the VR counselor, which that was recently updated, and hopefully it's a little bit easier for teachers to complete the new template. If you need to know, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to the Project Skills page. And it is just right down here. So you just have to click and download the PDF, and this should be the fillable one that we put on there. But everything looks the same on the first page. The only difference is instead of having to write everything in like you did in the past, we have a checkbox of tasks that just very simple soft skills that everybody should learn and really work on while they're doing any jobs as we work towards that career goal. And then you just check, is it exceeding the employer's expectations? Is it meeting them? Or is this still an area of improvement? So hopefully this is a lot easier for you all that have to fill this out to do, since it's, just checking the boxes versus having to write those paragraphs and sentences like you did in the past. And then there's someone at the school district that's required to do a quarterly report to myself. And that's where they take all of the monthly reports that you guys send to your counselors and just put all the hours that have been spent working with students into one report. And so if you're the person that is in charge of that and you don't know how to do that quarterly report, please feel free to contact me and I can give you some information about how to do that. And then vocational rehabilitation, the counselor's responsibility is verifying that the new hire paperwork is completed. Counselors will be helping identify employment goals. We want the Project Skills placement to be as close to that employment goal on the student's IEP as possible. Now we know that that doesn't always align based on the availability in the communities or just whatever the employment goal is, but anything that can give that student the best chance of deciding whether or not that's an employment goal that they want to pursue, that is what we want to see as much as possible. We also pay the wages to the students at $11 an hour. And then we also cover any workers' comp benefit if they were to get hurt on the job. And then we can provide any technical assistance as needed. Any questions about Project Skills or any of the requirements that we have? I'm sure most of you have been doing it for many years. And if you have any questions afterwards, again, call me, email me. I'll leave my information in the chat box. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to some VR counselors that work directly with the schools, and I'll let them share what they do with their school district. So Emily, you want to introduce yourself and talk about what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Emily. I'm a counselor here in the Rapid City office. I used to cover schools in the Southern Hills, but now I am mainly just the counselor for Meade School District, so the high school in Sturgis. So services that I provide and VR provides definitely can fluctuate based on the school district you're in, availability of students, and how comfortable the counselor is with certain things. But for me personally, one of the things that I started last year is a work skills and social skills group. So I met with a group of male students and a group of female students twice a month. And we worked on a lot of different like work skills activities. We played transition board games. One specific thing that we did was we played Jenga, where each block had an interview question on it. So when you pulled it out, you had to read the question, answer it, and then we kind of discussed it. I actually think I may have stole that from the Aberdeen office, that idea, but that was really fun. And sometimes we got off topic, which was okay, because it was a way for those students to really interact with one another, ask questions. We worked a lot on self-advocacy skills, and how to talk in the IEP meetings and what was really going on during those meetings. Because what I find is that sometimes students don't always understand. So it was just a really fun way to talk about careers in a different environment than the classroom. So I did a lot of that. Also meeting one-on-one with students as well has been big, and of course, project skills. We've also, I am the lead counselor here for Project Search in Rapid City. And so we're starting like mental health Fridays with VR with our Project Search students to talk about, workplace stress, how to deal with that, just navigating the transition, of course, from Project Search into after high school as well. So there's a lot of one-on-one going on. We also have done just going out in the community with students and experiencing different businesses and just walking around and seeing what it's like to work there. So we have also done that. So it's been really fun. Meade School District has been open to more things going on, which has been great. But that's a lot of what we do, and everything that Katie said as well. So it's really a great experience, and I hope to do more. And that's what we do.
All right, thanks, Emily. Before I introduce Jamie, there's one thing that I wanted to say is that, the VR counselors, they have been trained to be VR counselors, not necessarily teachers in front of a class. So every counselor is a little bit different about how they work with their schools and what services that they can provide. So if you hear of something today that you're interested, please reach out to the counselor that covers your school district and find out what they're comfortable with so that we can get some services with your school district. Because again, we've never been trained to really be teachers in front of a big group of students, but we will do whatever we can to help schools and to especially provide these pre-employment transition services to the students on our caseload. So I just wanted to quick mention that, but now I'll throw it over to Miss Jamie.
Katie, before Jamie starts, could I ask a question of Emily? I'm just curious, you said, Emily, that you met with this group like a couple times a month. So, and I'm assuming it's during the school day and you're going to the school, correct?
Yes.
So was it during a certain class period, or was it when the students have study hall, or can you give us some guidance on that?
That's a great question. So following COVID, the Meade School District went to a schedule where they have what's called scooper time. And so on certain days at the end of the day, it's kind of a study hall time for all students. So that's been really helpful for me to go at that time because I have more students on my caseload that have that study time all at the same point. So that's usually when I go and do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
You know, and another thing, just a quick mention, is that every counselor has a different level of caseload. So like you heard from Emily, a lot of hers is like a transition caseload. So they're able to do that, but other counselors might have like a heavy adult caseload. So again, if you want any of these services, please just reach out to the counselor that covers your school district and have a good discussion with them about what will work with them and their caseload and how it would work with your school schedule. All right, Jamie, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. If somebody could give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I sometimes have some wonky stuff with my speaker. Okay, good. I'm Jamie Folk. I'm one of 3 counselors here in the Watertown office. And between the 3 of us, we work with the Watertown School District, in addition to several outlying small communities such as Millbank, Waverly, Hamlin, Castlewood, Willow Lake, Clark, Henry, Florence, already met, am I missing any of them? But anyway, in each school and each counselor does things a little bit differently with the school. So as Katie mentioned, it is really important for if you're in these transition roundups and you hear something that is interesting, talk to one of your voc rehab counselors that work with your schools, because we're always willing and able or willing to have those discussions about what works best for your classroom or for the students that you're working with. I personally have had some experience where I'll go into the schools, into the high schools, and have just some individual meetings with the students that are already connected with voc rehab. And then I have a small school that works with the PACE lab. So I've done some observations and some activities with them while they're involved in the PACE lab. Also just attending IEP meetings and being a resource for working with the teacher, the parents, and the schools about what's the next step in that transition age, especially when they're that junior and senior year. You know, what do they want to do at high school? Is there some supports or services that could benefit them? And then just have those open discussions with them at those times and just keeping in contact. Voc Rehab has a potential eligible type of service, which is really beneficial because when we do go to those IEP meetings, not everybody applies right away or has applied. And so with permission and approval from students and guardians to be put on potential eligible status, as a voc rehab counselor, we can still have contact, and we mail them out the newsletters, and then we do phone calls and follow-up visits just to see where they're at. You know, are they ready for that next step? Do they need help with applying for voc rehab, or just giving them more information about what voc rehab services are, especially after the high school time. We have one of our counselors that goes into the high school once a week and meets with the, it's an employability class that they meet. And so she does a lot of job exploration, and she works with the virtual job shadow, but is it Pathways Explore? Am I saying that right? Okay, good. So she does a lot of that with that class, and each semester she's working with a different group of students and things like, so that's been really, you know, and that is just more kind of group work where she's not standing up and talking, you know, and teaching things. She's sitting down as a group, you know, so she kind of treats it as a group style of training. Another counselor and I, we co-lead E-Track with our 18 to 21 program in Watertown. Last year was kind of our pilot first year, and there was some hiccups along the way with it. The E-Track is a great program. There's just a lot of information with that. So we're hoping and we're excited to get on board with Bobby Joe. I think she's on here with the 18 to 21 program and getting E-Track kind of started again for the students that are at the 18 to, at that transition program, just because there are so many different activities in there that I think they found interesting. A couple of things I'm just going to kind of pull out from the E-Track that the kids really seem to like is when we did interest profiles. You know, we do look at ONET and use their interest assessments quite often, and to see what kind of jobs and careers fit into those different categories of their profiles. But we also talked a lot about values and personalities and how that affects their jobs or how it affects their relationships with the people that they may have on their jobs. And we had there's lots of free personality assessments online, and we did one with the class, and it was just really fun to have those discussions about, you know, this is the type of personality you have, these are the type of people you probably get along with, these are the people that you may not, but this is how we can all work together. So it was a lot of fun talking about that with them. We do some skills and ability type of activities. So when we do E-Track, it is in an interactive curriculum. Like there's a videos to watch and you follow along, but we also do some group activities, and then there's also some self activities that the kids work with on their own. Another activity through E-Track that we did was the resume pocketbook. And that's the Department of Labor put out a small pocketbook that has all of the information you would need for resumes, all written into one little spot where the kids can keep that in a safe place, whether it's their wallet or their purse, or, you know, in a folder where they know they're going to have it. One of the things on there that we kind of noticed that is references. That is really difficult for students and young people to have those references that they need for job applications, or so kind of just developing those you know, relationships on who you can ask for references. How do you ask someone to be a reference? So that was really beneficial. We did online and pen and paper applications. That was kind of a learning curve for us when we were meeting with the students with that and going over those things, because nowadays there's not many pen and paper applications, so it's all online. And so it's depending on the, you know, the skill level of the student, you know, whether, you know, of them filling in the information online, you know, if you have to type it for them, or if they can type it on their own, spelling, those kinds of things. And then also filling out what we call an employment profile. And that's going to give you all of the information that they will need to fill out an application. So it's in one spot. So when they're filling out those applications, they just have to pull that out. So they already have the years that they had this job experience, the year that they graduated. These are their classes and their skills and things like that. So it's all in one area. We also did some transitional games. They like those types of things. With some of our students, we also like to do other activities, is some person-centered tools or activities with them, such as many times the schools will do profiles, person profiles, but we like to kind of build on those one-person profiles and do some important to, important for regarding employment. And some of it is, you know, regarding those soft skill type of things that are so important for that age group. But also like important to, important for relationships regarding in the workplace, because that's a big, as we find with a lot of young kids, that, you know, how do you talk to your boss? How do you talk to your coworker? How do you talk to your job coach? Those kinds of things. So we may do some role playing type of activities. We like to use the support donut so that they always know, or that they have that kind of that thinking about, okay, so if there's a concern or if there's a question, who do you contact? If that person's not available, who can they contact next? We promote a lot with the YLF applications and help fill those out if necessary. We attend transition planning meetings with students that don't know what's, you know, their next step or what's available. We also attend some career classes and give some, you know, just whatever their discussions, if it's about, you know, a specific type of jobs, or one of the small schools invites me in to their class every year. And then I just talk about my personal history of employment, jobs and schooling and education and things like that. And then we meet with students individually based on their needs and their wants on what they need. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Jamie, for jumping in and telling us all about the great things that you do with your schools. Yeah, this is the time. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask one of us now, or I did put my email and my phone number in the chat that you can contact me that way. Otherwise, please feel free to reach out to the counselor that works with your school district directly and begin having conversations to see what their comfort level is, what they're able to do with your students, you know, and just different things like that. Because, you know, VR values and needs our partnerships with our school districts so that we can provide these pre-employment transition services to students. So please reach out to us and let us know what we can do to help you to make sure that these kiddos are being served. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Emily, and thank you, Jamie. That was good. And I don't know if people realize, you know, how wonderful the opportunity is to be able to have VR come in and actually assist. These are all transition services in our transition services and activities page that can really help and support students as they transition. And they're good. There are lots of good soft skills in this whole process. So thank you very much. Project Skills, the new quarter, let's see, the new year starts October 1st, right, Katie? So does that have any, is that, you need to bring anything up with that?
No, I mean, there's students doing project skills right now. In the past, we used to wait until October 1st, but we've made adjustments on our end, so that's no longer a requirement that we wait until October 1st to start a new one. So yeah, I mean, it's basically up to the student and when a placement has been found to when they can be started. So there is no more requirements to wait until October 1st for project skills placement. It's whenever it works best for the student and their team.
Okay, great. We want to make sure that, is there something else on our slide, Bev, that, and Kate, that we needed to bring up besides our agenda?
We just had listed out the events that we have planned this year, and those are on that TSLP events flyer. And all that will be posted on the website too as we go through the year, more details.
And our next roundup is on October 26th. And that'll be at 3 o'clock Central Time. And this time this next session in October, we're gonna, I guess we're gonna be riding the range with career and technical education. So we will have somebody from Career and Tech Ed talking about working with students on IEPs and in the transition process. And hopefully we have some students too. We haven't rounded that up yet, but and they can talk about YLF a little bit. And we want to encourage you to, if you have students that have an interest in attending YLF, be sure and go on the website and get the application and help those students to get that application turned in. Students that have attended YLF and are interested in coming back to be a team leader or an assistant team leader, that application for those leadership positions is on our website as well. So, and there's one application for both the team leader and the assistant team leaders. So they just need to use the one application and just circle what position they're preferring to apply for. Bev, Katie, do you have anything else to share?
I don't have any.
I would just mention, you had talked about October, our next one, transition roundup. And then we will not be having roundups in November and December, just because of the holidays. So we'll have a couple months break and start again after January, or in January, probably.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and we're going to be done a little early today, so great. Have a good evening and thank you for what you do.
Thanks, everyone. Dan, you can stop recording.